Got a duet Whirlpool that we're looking at. It's got an error message, and I just sat here and watched it try to go through the drain and the spin, and then finally it kicked out with a blinking F25 error. So we're gonna look that up and we're gonna see what that is and see what we gotta fix. I'm gonna set this up to where I can show you kind of everything I'm doing. And I already got some of it set up. I got a meter back there. I got my light. And of course over there is the motor controller. And I have everything kind of disconnected already. But I just want to show you a couple things first. Get my camera set up there. Sorry for all that noise. Whoops. All right, get out of the way, light. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check and make sure that the tach is working before we look into the board. So that's gonna be back here. You can see this yellow cable. If I get this out of the way, it goes up to the end of the motor back here. And underneath this is a tachometer that attaches to the motor. It doesn't touch the motor, but it sits around it like that. So the tach is around it, checking the speed of the motor if it's spinning. And that's what the error is that we're getting, is a tach error. It says that it can't, determine how fast it's spinning, so it ain't gonna spin at all. Well, let's check it and see. And it says that the tach should read 115 ohms, if I remember correctly. So what we have to do first to get this stuff out of the way is pull this out of here, out of that little hole. And then we just pull this cable off the back of the motor. And then we can just move that out of the way. So now we can get to our connectors here. And this yellow wire that has two red wires on the inside connect to the back of this connector, and they go to these first two spades that are in there. So that's what we're going to concentrate on. So let's put this up here, and hopefully we can see it without it falling over. So the first thing we're going to do is I have it set on ohms, and we're going to read the ohms of those two pins. Okay, and we got about 160, something like that. It'll probably keep climbing, but I think it says it's supposed to be about 115, but so that's good. I would consider that good. Now, a second way to test that, or an additional way that if that seems kind of flaky, is we can open up our door. That was the click to open it up, so I can reach my hand in and spin the barrel while I have my meter leads connected to these two pins. And for this, we need to put this on AC because it's going to create an alternating wave, and we're not going to be able to read it because it's probably going to jump around really quick. But if we get an output, then it usually means it's pretty good. So I'm going to try to stick one of them in there, or both of them in there while I knock the camera all around. Okay, so I'm holding it with one hand on the top two, and we have our meter on AC, and now I'm spinning the tub on the inside. And you can see that the numbers change. Now the faster you spin it, the more voltage you're going to get. So doing this, I've got it up to like 1 volt before, but you can see that it is moving, and it doesn't matter which way you spin it, the tach is going to read it both ways. So that's probably another indicator that it's good. The tack is good if you're getting some movement like that. All right. So let's assume our tack is good for now. We'll get this meter out of here. So that's all for that motor part. So now, get this light out of the way a little bit. And we'll look at the motor controller, which we're gonna need to take out of there because we can't do nothing with it in there because it's behind this thing right there. And again, I already disconnected all the wires. So I'm just gonna open this door and you can see the wire connectors in there. So I already took those off. So we're just gonna pop these things right out. Pop that off. Ground wire off. And our two little pink ones off the bottom. All right, so now we got all of our wires off there. Now the trick, if your washer has been sitting around for a long time and it is corroded, kind of like on the bottom like this one, it has all kinds of junk. These spots right here are actually pushed back. There's 4 of them and they slide down in slots and they're pushed way back. This one here is the only one that has a little lever on it that you need to lift up on to be able to pull this thing forward. And I tried that and I couldn't get this thing moved forward at all for the life of me. So what I ended up doing is tipping the washing machine back up against the wall to where I could get underneath and access those little things. Just close the door. I want to make sure. I don't think I have anything on it, but I'm going to set this down for a second. I'm going to tip this washing machine backwards. So if you tip this back and you rest it up against the wall, you can access the points right here that are going to be like corroded or something from all the years of it sitting there and whatnot. But you can see the slots get pretty nasty. So these white things will be way back here and they'll be stuck. So I pulled on the inside, I pulled the plastic container forward as I tapped lightly, gently on all these with the hammer to move them forward towards the camera. And with the pressure pulling it forward, they broke loose. And I didn't damage these too bad because we're gonna wanna put this back in there. So that's how I got that out. It was a pain in the butt, but yeah, I finally got a way to figure it out to get it out of there. So I'm gonna set this back down. So now since that's loose, then we can just lift this thing and take it right out. Just like that. And there you can see the holes that it goes in. All right, this is the one I'm talking about that you have to push up a little bit because this part right here is grabbing, so it won't let you pull it forward. So you just pop that up and that'll get rid of that. And now that bundle of wires was also in this here, but I didn't put it in there just for ease of the video. All right, so now we're actually ready to take this into the house and throw it on the bench and see what we can come up with. So here, get the motor control module out, and we're gonna see if there's something going on with this. And to give you a little hint, I know there is because, of course, I looked at it. So to get this board out of here, we we have these two little things, tabs we got to push in on the end, and that holds the board in. So then we can just pull it right out like this. All right, so you can buy these boards for reasonable price to totally outrageous price that I can't even believe people have the nerve to sell them that much. I've seen them online for 50 bucks up to $500. And those people that are in the hundreds of dollars for this, you're getting ripped off big time. Because most of the components on here you can buy and replace. I haven't looked at all of them to see if you can get them replaced, like this chip here. I don't know if you can. I don't know if these, but yeah, all the smaller stuff you can definitely buy it and fix it yourself. But yeah, so I had already taken a look at this to speed up the process of this video a little bit. And if we follow the tack leads in, the tack goes on these two right here. So if we follow those in, they connect right here and they come over here. There's two traces here running together, and they come in here. One goes off over here, and the top one up here goes to this component right here, which is a resistor. And I spotted that right away, that resistor was blown. And here's a picture up here. So I needed to figure out what value that was, because you can see it's blown up right in the center. It looks like, I deduced that it's a 4 on one side and a 1 on the other side. That's as far as I could go. I don't know what the center number was at all, but I'm thankful to some people who take really good pictures of this stuff when they sell it. And I was able to find out exactly what that resistor was, and it's a 470 ohm resistor. So I'll just show you quick that if you look on the meter, it's dead. It doesn't read anything. So before I slide it all out of the way, I happen to have one here. And it's funny, the company that I bought this, they put 470 ohm on here as 4700 on here. So I don't know why they do that, but I'll just measure it here to show you that it's kind of far away, but we're gonna try it anyway. Oh, I'm closer this time. So 485. The first time I measured it, it made me kind of nervous because it was up to like 600 ohms. But this is better. Maybe I just had some dirt or something going on with it. But yeah, so this one's good. So that's the one we're gonna put on there, and then we'll have to replace that one first, since it's the first one that's blown, and then we'll go from there. And hopefully that's the only thing that's wrong. That'll be really nice. But you know, because once that blows, you wouldn't think anything else. I mean, I checked some components after it, some capacitors and resistors, and it goes into this chip over here, if I remember correctly, because I did this about a week or two ago. Everything else was good that it ran into, so this was the only one that was blown. So I'm gonna replace that. All right, I'm getting old. My hands are shaky. That's why I had a problem with keeping it on there. And we'll Just make sure I didn't heat it up too much. See if we still read good over here. 519, yeah, it's a little warm, so it's going to read a little different, but all right, so that's good. So yeah, let's go put this back in and see if that's the only thing that's wrong. All right, we have everything connected. Motor stuff back there, our box over there. It's a little noisier now because I got the garage door open with the water hoses and everything running to the washing machine. And I did notice when I was doing all this that we might have a bigger problem than what I thought, because I noticed this probably has been looked at before, because I noticed these right here and this here is just laying there, and these clips that hold this inside these holes all the way up to the door lock and everything are broke. So somebody had this apart before, unless this washing machine moves a whole bunch and it breaks those things off there. But, you know, I'm more towards somebody looked at this already and broke all those off. But I got it plugged in, and we're gonna see if it does anything different, see if it works or not. I know it's gonna take a while. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a test first and see what that does. And the only thing that I think failed on that test was it didn't spin. So, but it doesn't come up and tell you that it passes or fails either, I noticed. It just says it's done. So I guess if we see the basket moving in there at a high rate of speed for the last test, then it's probably okay. And then if that works, then we'll go from there. But let's not get our hopes up. So I'm going to turn this on, and I have the information on my phone, so I can't look at it to get it exact, but this is what I think I remember. We have to have it in drain and spin. We have to turn this one, the speed control, we got to say no speed, so we move the green light down there, and then we press one of these 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the test, and it goes C0 through C08, I believe. And this is going to test the different parts of the washer. So we can see over there, we got the water popping in the side over there. I don't even know if this will help us. I guess that would help a little bit. I can clamp this on here, maybe. Clamp this on the door, see if it falls off on us. This way we can see if the barrels, the basket is moving in there. It's already on 4. So I believe it tests the cold water, hot water inlet. And then it does the drain. So it runs that pump right there. And then it does a few spinning things of the basket. And that's really all I remember. But yeah, we'll see what it does. There's the spinning of it. And it did that one the first time I ran the test. But the last spin is like 1,000 RPMs, I think. And that one it didn't do. So we'll find out. We just got to keep watching, I guess. Okay, that's that. Now I think it's going to drain it. Oh, it's got to play around a little more. And I have the drain going right out the door and into the driveway, so hopefully it shouldn't run inside the garage. At the very beginning of this test, it actually, you heard it lock the door, so that was another one of the tests, I believe. And I can put the sheet up there too that tells you what it does. Here's the drain, so we can see the water's disappearing in there. It's almost gone. So that's good. All that's working so far. I think all that's left is the high RPM spin. This is the one it didn't do before. Well, I get not 1,000 RPMs. I said that wrong. If I remember correctly, on the paper or on the sheet that I put up there, it said 30 RPMs to 90 RPMs, I think. Yeah, I guessed that one way wrong. I don't claim I have a good memory at all, so have to bear with me. But yeah, this is definitely the test that it did not do before when that resistor was blown on our motor control board. So I'm crossing my fingers right now because I think this is a fix. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually run a full load afterwards. I mean, I'm probably not gonna put anything in it, but I'll just have the water and I'll run it through one of the full cycles and see if it lasts. And then whatever happens, oh, there it goes. Whatever happens at the end, I'll add right after this. So yeah, it definitely didn't do this before. So I think the motor controller is definitely working so far. Hopefully that resistor doesn't heat up so much it burns up again. I don't know what caused it. Being that it's only a tach sensor, there's no physical connection to the motor itself. It's just the motor shaft spins within the tachometer. So I would think that it's a toss-up in the air right now on why that resistor burns up. Could have been getting old, could have been worn, you know. Electronics does weird things. They can blow for no reason at all. And if you repair electronics, you know that. All right, wind it down. Look at that, our light hasn't fallen off yet. That's it, look at that. It went all the way through the test. Holy smokes, I think we got a winner here. All right, so I'm gonna run a load. I'll let you know right after this video, after this section, to let you know how it works.